What's up, guys? Welcome back to channel.
I have some Civil War Navy buttons that I want to sell.
A lady brings Civil War Navy buttons to pawn shop. In Civil War, more than 3 million men fought between 1861 and 1865, and the lady wants at least $13,000 for the Civil War buttons.
Got the eagle, it's holding the anchor. Obviously, it's Navy.
So what exactly are you looking for?
I just want to make sure they don't say made in China or something on them.
Corey checks the button and asks for an offer.
Do you have any idea of what you might want to get out of them?
I'm hoping 1,300.
Kind of in a predicament here. I need to get somebody down here and kind of tell me exactly what these buttons are.
Corey is not sure about its worth, so he calls an expert for better advice.
If we hadn't had the Union Navy, we wouldn't have been able to blockade all the ports south. That made a huge difference. It intercepted a lot of the firearms that the South was trying to bring in, so it was an effective force.
Expert takes a closer look of the item to check its authenticity.
Is there any way to actually tell for sure they're Civil War?
We didn't change the design on these buttons. And some of these are not easy. I think these are Civil War buttons.
Wow.
Expert confirms that these are real Civil War buttons and said that these buttons are from early 1860 and it's worth around $1,300.
Earlier, $1,300. I'm sure there's probably like a grading system for these. Pristine ones like this one I would say is in really good shape. Compared to this one, not so much.
Corey likes the Civil War button, so the negotiation started.
I'll start off around $200.
How about 1,000?
I'll go up to 400. I'm not paying any more though.
600 and you have a deal.
I'll pay you 5.
All right, you got a deal.
Deal?
That was a good negotiation of the Corey, so the deal was made. Let's move forward to next deal.
I come to the pawn shop today to sell my strong box, ball and chain. I'm looking to get around $2,000.
A man comes to pawn shop to sell strong box, ball, and chain, and he wants $2,000 for it.
This ball and chain right here actually comes from the human prison. This one right here, it comes from Folsom Prison from around the late 1800s, 1900s.
Old man and Rick having some concerns about the items, so he asks some questions to the owner.
Here's my concerns. When they forged chains, it was just hot welding together. Get it hot, beat it together. It was all done by a blacksmith. That's why I have a problem with these chains. They're electrically welded. See how these have arcs from an arc welder? Never in the history of any prison did they ever have their name put on the bolt.
That was a shocking counterstatement from Rick, and he thinks that this item is not real.
Okay, so what are you trying to say?
It's fake. The manufacturers who made these things weren't going to change the die for every prison. But the box might be real. We have a box full of fake stuff. Gives me a real doubt about the box.
Rick thinks that box is real, so the negotiations started for it.
I'll give you $400 for the box, and I will get one of my guys to help you carry all this stuff out.
800.
I just don't see me getting that kind of money out of it.
At least get $500 for it.
I'll meet you in the middle at 450.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
Pretty little filthy.
And finally, the deal ends on $450, and it's time to get expert opinion on it.
Wells Fargo, they were necessary because, you were handling currency, you were handling gold. You couldn't ship that unless it shipped in a strong box. Have you already bought this?
That sounds bad. I've already bought it.
Expert having some bad news about the item.
I don't have good news for you. It's a complete fake.
Damn it, Rick.
Experts confirms that this box is completely fake, so no deal was made. Let's move to next deal.
We've got 4 volumes of history of Don Quixote.
A lady comes to pawn shop to sell Don Quixote books.
I decided to come into the pawn shop today to sell my collection of Don Quixote books.
Rick asks some questions to lady about the Don Quixote books.
You know anything about them?
I don't really know much about it.
I mean, it was written in the 1600s, and you read it today, there's still funny passages in it that will make you laugh. Don Quixote is a novel about an ordinary guy who decides to put on a suit of armor and go out looking for adventures.
Rick also shares some information about the Don Quixote books.
When you see an address without a zip code, that means it's like 1962 or before. And these are definitely old. I mean, these are sort of timeless like that, and that's why they are collectible.
Rick knows that these books are rare and collectibles. So for more authenticity, he calls an expert for better advice.
Here's my concerns. I just don't know enough about them. So let me get someone down here who will know everything there is to know about these books.
Well, Don Quixote is probably the best-selling work ever. 500 million copies of this book have sold, at least. So this is a big deal.
Expert shares more details about the item.
This edition here is over 100 years after that. This is normally not a good thing. You're lucky because Don Quixote is the most popular novel in human history. Printings like this can still have some collectible value.
Expert knows that these books are rare and collectible, so she estimated its approximate worth.
So for this 1731 edition, in this condition, all 4 volumes would probably retail $1,500 to $1,800.
Expert estimates books value around $1,800. Then the negotiation started.
What do you want for him, young lady?
I'm looking, $1,000.
I was thinking more like $1,250.
$1,000 really is my best offer. I'm hoping to get $1,500 for him.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Thank you.
And the deal ends on $1,000. Let's move to next deal.
Sir, what I have today is I have the British P1871 Martini Henry short lever rifle.
A man brings 1871 British Martini Henry short lever rifle to pawn shop.
This was the rifle used by the most powerful army in the world. This was used by the British in the Zulu War.
Rick shocks everyone by assembling the gun.
So this would go like that, and then this would... that is just gnarly.
You ready to charge the hill?
Rick asks how much he's looking to get out of it.
It's in really, really good shape. How much you want for it?
Well, sir, I was looking for $1,250.
Do you mind if I have someone look at it?
Rick is not sure about this item, so he prefers to call an expert for better advice.
First breech-loading infantry rifle that the British Army ever adopted. So with one motion, when you drop this, it ejects the cartridge and recocks it. Now you're ready to fire again.
Okay.
Expert also shows some rare things about the rifle.
You see this 780 here? Just above it, there is a W1. Now that stands for West Yorkshire Regiment. This is one of the oldest military regiments in the British Army.
Rick asks expert to estimate its worth.
What do you think it's worth?
The rifle in this condition with the accessories and the early date, about $1,100.
We're gonna stick with $1,250.
You say it's worth $1,100, I'll give you $600.
Rick looks not in mood to negotiate the price. Let's see where this deal will land.
Number in my head, $800, sir.
$700.
$800, sir.
$700 is what makes sense to me.
I'm gonna have to thank you for your time, sir. And unfortunately, we can't get a deal done tonight.
Change your mind, give me a call.
Unfortunately, no deal was made. Let's move forward to next deal.
What in the hell is that?
It's a big golden Dick Nixon.
A man brings giant Nixon head to pawn shop. Richard Nixon is a person who started his career in California before joining the U.S. Navy.
We're talking about Richard Nixon, Tricky Dick. He was made fun of in popular culture so much.
Rick asks some questions to owner about the Nixon head.
Why does this exist?
If you look inside, there's a hell of a metal structure in there. So I don't know if he was for a campaign. I mean, it's a mystery to me.
I really don't think there's a big market for giant foam Nixon head.
Rick asks owner how much he's looking to get out of it.
You want to sell this to?
Yeah.
Just for laughs, what do you want for it?
I'd like to get $2,500.
Owner wants $2,500 for it, but Rick laughs as everything. Let's see what happened next.
Money, but no one's going to buy a head. Yeah, I can't buy
Glad
this.
you enjoyed it.
That was unfortunate for the giant head owner. Let's move forward to next deal.
I have a collection of Incredible Hulk number 1 through 6 I'd like you to take a look at.
A man comes to sell set of original Hulk comics to pawn shop.
Years ago, I got a chance to meet Stan Lee in Chicago, and I had him sign it.
I don't know if it devalued him by having him signed. When people buy these, pure collectors, they want the actual perfect.
Corey asks for an offer.
Idea what you're looking to get for him?
I'd like to get $40,000.
But I know a guy I can have come down and take a look at him.
Corey is not sure about the item, so he calls an expert for better advice.
Signed by Stan, that's nice. But this is a nice copy, it's complete. His signature placement's good. This would be the big book.
Corey asks expert to estimate its worth.
Okay, what's it worth?
If I did my math right, probably puts you at about $36,000. Good luck, take care.
Expert tells it's worth around $36,000, so the negotiation started.
I gotta make money. I'd have to cut that in half. I'm gonna have to pass, man, but thanks for bringing him in then.
Corey looks not interested to buy it, so no deal was made. Let's move to next deal.
Money would be just a nice little bonus from holding on to for 45 years. I'm putting it at $10,000 mark.
A man brings rare football to pawn shop.
My uncle gave me the ball. It was given to him by Ronnie Bull. You can see him handing it there.
Corey asks some questions to owner about the football.
So this one should have Dit Buckus or...
Yes, the big name to me is George Hallis.
Those are pretty desirable.
Corey asks for an offer.
What'd you want to do with it, man? Any particular amount you're looking for?
$10,000.
Here are some of the concerns I have with it. Absolutely no authentication for the ball. Do you mind if I give a buddy of mine a call?
Corey is not sure about the item, so he prefers to call an expert for better advice.
Dick Buckus, who's in the Hall of Fame as well. Right in the middle, George Hallis. Probably one of the most influential and important people in football.
Expert shares more details about it.
Now, if we were dealing with an official ball, mint condition signatures, we'd be talking several $1,000s. And if we compare Brian Piccolo's signature here, they were signed by somebody else other than the athlete.
Corey asked expert to estimate its worth.
You're looking at maybe tops $1,000.
Jeremy, man, I appreciate you coming in. I'd offer you around $100 for it.
So I'll just keep holding on to it.
Right on.
Owner wants more money, so no deal was made. Let's move to next deal.
This introduction of Thor, it's a journey into mystery comic book.
In this episode, a lady brings mystery comic book to pawn shop.
And then you have a god.
I've had it for a couple of years now, but I could use the money. I want to start traveling a little bit. I'm hoping to sell that comic book for about $100,000.
Lady wants $100,000 for it. So Rick asked how she get it.
Oh, my brother. Well, he used to draw for Marvel Comics years ago.
So you sent it in and got it graded?
I sent it in and got it graded.
And it's got a great rating on it, too.
Rick asked how much she wants for it.
How much were you looking for?
About $100,000.
$100,000. Let me have someone take a look at it.
After listening to the owner offer, Rick decides to call an expert for better advice.
So we have the first appearance of Thor, Stan Lee, and Jack Kirby, of course, co-creators of the entire Marvel Universe. And Thor is the 5th character that came along in the Marvel Universe.
Expert shares more details about it.
This book has white pages. That is astounding, which means that somehow this book was stored in an environment where the pages didn't turn brown or off-white.
Rick asked Expert to estimate its worth.
$60,000.
Well, Steve, man, I appreciate you coming down, buddy.
Right after Expert authenticity, Rick started negotiation.
Okay, so what would be your best price on it?
$60,000.
But I'll give you 30.
$50,000.
Oh, there's no money in it for me. I'll give you 40.
Okay, I'll go 40.
All right, sweet.
Thank you.
Finally, the deal ends on $40,000. That's for today. See you soon in the next video. Till then, watch these two amazing Pawn Stars video.